Hello, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us while we went to go take a break real quick. Also, I forgot to fix everybody's face in this overlay because it was fixed in the other one. So,
Haha.
hold please. Do
Oh
one of you guys
no.
want to talk about what just happened while I fix people's faces?
Uh, yeah, magical lightning just fried Una.
That was pretty sweet.
That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
I mean, that was probably the most taxing fight we have had as a party,
Yeah.
I would say.
I mean, for you guys.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Get your game on.
Yeah, that's right.
Centuria did not have a good time.
Oh,
We'll
man.
just word it that way.
This is why I'm a stealthy archer and let everybody else in the party go on ahead.
Calvin's playing Skyrim while the rest of us are playing Eminem.
Exactly. This is exactly how I play Skyrim.
So at the top of the hour, at the top of the session, we started off with the fight between the merged Safunador and the merged Freedom League Dark, which that didn't last too long before we got the good hit in and were able to split Una into her composite parts, which also split us into our composite parts. And Alex, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, and then the heroes fought Una, and now we're here. Wiki says, I think it's mostly Adrian's weird kiss that killed her. Maybe, we'll see. We rejoin our heroes after their successful battle against Una, which resulted in the spirit of Adrian Eldritch making its presence known within the Pocket Nexus magic space. And he asked each of them a secret question. That secret question was, who do you choose to die? And everybody chose themselves. So the magical ritual, the magic passed into them and went somewhere. Only I know where. But we rejoin our heroes after being wounded by this magical energy and returning to Freedom City, which is quickly turning back into Freedom City and not a netherworld hellscape. Wiki says everyone should have chosen Sophie.
Sophie wasn't an option.
Centuria will sort of collapse to her knees and look at everybody like, what did you all do? Why didn't you choose me?
You talking about?
You're part of the team, Kate.
Yes, but what just happened? We have no idea where that energy went.
I know where it went.
Don't even
Yeah.
get me started on you.
You have a lot of explaining to do.
Adrian opens a portal in front of him, and each of you see throughout the multiverse, Centuria, you see the Centuria of this dimension gets obliterated by the magical energy. Overdrive, you just notice that Davy is not here. And you see in the portal Davy back in the Nexus dimension get obliterated by the magical energy. And each of you in turn sees another variant of yourself somewhere in the multiverse get struck down by the magical energy of Una.
You should have chose me.
We couldn't do that.
What the
No
hell
matter
was
how-
that?
So yeah, what would you do? We chose ourselves and you picked somebody else?
I didn't choose somebody else.
Una couldn't have. It was your ritual,
No, it was
wasn't it?
It was the diamond you put in place back at the Nexus. Glimpse chose 5 others of you to suffer on your behalf.
Suffer.
They're dead now. And there are 5 universes that are going to go without the Freedom League Dark. 5 universes that will fall into darkness.
fall into darkness, but we just destroyed Una.
You destroyed this Una, yes. And you've saved Earth Prime, the primary Earth, from falling under her influence.
And that was the main thing. I mean, 10 years ago, if we hadn't stopped her from taking over Earth Prime, what happened in Centuria's dimension would have happened to everything.
Yes.
So she can't, at least another Una from another dimension can't do that.
No. Can't do it to everywhere. You have...
Why would you leave and not give us this information?
It wasn't something I did by choice.
And you just happened to be able to reappear at the end when all of this is going on?
You have Sophie to thank for that.
Glance over at Sophie.
She's looking despondent, but also a little bit like, ha, you guys get it, Adrian sucks.
Alex, is there a doll in my pocket?
There is not a doll in your pocket.
Okay, how do we fix this? Because apparently there's a handful of dimensions out there that are just vulnerable to other Unos.
You can't fix it. That's the final lesson every Master Mage needs to learn. It's that you can't save the multiverse. Not all of it. You can only do what you can for the most people. Which is what you all have done.
So what happens now?
Whatever you all want.
What happens for you?
I go back into the ether. Or oblivion. I don't know what waits on the other side.
You have an apology to make. 2 of them before you leave.
He looks at all of you and at Sophie.
And not just to the ones here. 7 and Sala.
Everything that has happened here has proceeded in the way that it needed to.
I don't fucking care, Eldritch. You need to apologize.
And he looks at you, he looks down at Sophie. He says, live your lives well. You've earned them. And he disappears.
Mortis,
Mm-hmm.
any chance we can track him down?
Probably, but it'll probably take quite a bit.
Okay.
Right? Look, there has to be at least something we can do for these other places that are vulnerable now because of us.
Well, one of the places is a wasteland. And now your Centuria is dead because of me. But we only have to save 4 of them.
Okay. Let's regroup. We'll go back to the Nexus. We will do what we can. And Resident looks at Bowman. Magic isn't free. There's give and take. There might be something we can do. There might not be. I'm not willing to give up on it. Not until we've done what we can to research it. But right now, I think we need to go back and we need to decompress, because everyone here is in a very emotional state. And it is not easy for me to keep that bottled up.
Yeah. We should at least update Solomon 7 anyways. And then we'll take some time and we'll figure something out. If there's something to figure out.
Yeah.
Sophie will stand up and look at all of you and say, well, I'm sorry, at least if that helps, for my part in all of this.
Sophie, I just wanted your help building a community center and you almost destroyed the multiverse. I mean, I honestly don't know what to do with you at this point. I don't know.
No, that's fair.
The best that I can hope for is that you figure out some way to make up for what you've done. But whatever it is, I'm done with you right now.
And she sort of bites her lip and nods and says, well, if I'm free to go, I guess I'll just go.
Please.
Don't leave the city. We might have something that you can do if you're willing to try to right the wrongs.
Yeah, I wanna put the work in.
Bowman will turn away from Sophie and then sort of maybe half glance over his shoulder and say, if you're sticking around, they probably need some help cleaning up and with rescue. You can at least do that.
Yeah, I'll go see what Jason's up to.
How about you just don't talk to Jason unless you need to?
You got it. And she'll float away on a golden plinth.
Don't talk to me, you're my son, never again.
Resident will kind of pick herself up off the ground and pull out the Alternity Atlas to teleport us back to the Nexus.
You guys appear back in the Nexus. You find Sala and Seven both looking devastated when you get back. They're sitting in a small smoking room in the center of the Nexus. There's a big fire roaring in a fireplace. Seven has a very large bottle of cognac that she's drinking directly out of. And Sala is just sort of quietly staring off into the middle distance with his hands clenched together. Just bouncing his leg and looking very, very unwell.
Omen's gonna take his mask off and go straight toward 7.
Fletch, you're alive.
Yeah, but apparently there's some other version of me out there that isn't. And his home dimension is now vulnerable to another Una.
You want a drink? You look like you need to drink about it. Here.
Yeah, you look like you need to not drink about it. And he will take the bottle from her and place it on like a separate table out of reach.
And she does the I dream of Genie thing. She nods her head and another one pops up in her hand. You're silly.
Okay,
I'm magic. You can't stop me.
Serena, how about you just cut back on the magic for a bit? And then he will take that bottle as well.
And she points at you and your shirt pops off.
Okay, Serena, how much of this have you had?
Just settle down, okay? We saved the day. And destroyed 5 universes.
Yeah. Look, he's just gonna like shuffle over to. I assume there's chairs around.
Yes. And the house will produce chairs as they are needed.
He is going to attempt to get her to sit down.
You're so serious all the time.
Yeah, I know. You're the one
Adrian
with the sense of
stopped by.
humor here. Yeah, what did he say?
Some version of go fuck yourself, I guess. Well, he said you're welcome for saving the day. Did you see that glimpse thing around? It left after the spell was cast.
Yeah, I could have used a conversation with him too.
He's gone. I don't know where he is. I can't see him. He's not here. He's not in the NetherWorld. He's not in any of the worlds in the Ocularum.
We could have used his help to figure out which worlds were going to be targeted. I guess we'll have to do that ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
And find him between dimensions, most likely. It'll be harder to look for.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah, sweetie, you do that.
Call me sweetie.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got to do that.
You should smile more.
I'll be smiling when you wake up.
And she will go to sleep with a drunk smile on her face.
Resident will go over and take Sala's hand and just kind of give it a squeeze.
Part of me understands the lesson he was trying to teach us, but it's not the way things have ever been before. We
I
don't
make
trade
cynics.
lives.
Time makes cynics of us all, apparently. But this felt... It felt like he didn't want to... He could never admit that he was wrong. Or at least that some part of him knew what he did was wrong.
I think there's something wrong with him. I think something happened to him in the dungeon dimension that made him this way. There's something not right about all of this.
It's something we can look into,
I intend to.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we don't need to get into that tonight.
No. But everyone wants to blame themselves for what happened.
You don't carry any of Adrian's guilt. He didn't tell you what his plan was. He didn't tell any of us what his plan was.
Therein lies the problem. Blind trust didn't get us what we wanted.
Yeah. But we'll deal with that in the coming days and weeks.
Has there been any word from the rest of the Freedom League? Have they managed to make it back out of Una's reality warp?
We have heard from everyone who is trapped in Elysium.
That's good.
The surviving members of the Freedom League are waiting for your status report at Freedom Hall.
Surviving? Some did we lose some?
I don't know, I haven't done a head count. Nobody's heard anything from Daedalus.
Oh,
I guess I should say
You
the accounted for members of the Freedom League.
had me worried there for a minute, Sala.
Sorry, it's been a day. It's been a tense few months.
Yes.
Hey, Alex, is Brutus around?
Brutus is around.
Um,
He kind of
sure
skulks sadly into the room that you're in. He's been lingering sort of in the shadows.
Centuria's sort of gonna go over to a corner with him and just say, I'm so sorry. I lost your dad. I lost him again.
And he nods, says, I felt it when it happened.
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault.
And then she'll just sort of like hug him and just sob, like harder than you guys have ever seen her sob before.
He'll put a paw up on your back
Oh,
and
what a
dog
good-
hug you.
Puppy hug.
What a good boy.
I'm gonna find that dirty old wizard who got him killed.
I've never been the revenge type, but he took it a step too far. 5 steps.
And Brutus will let this really despondent, sad, whimpering noise out. What would the rest of you like to do?
Overdrive is just kind of off to the side, like reeling with all of the micro and the macro. Sort of torn between wanting to reach out to Centuria and also feeling that's the wrong thing to do at this time, having lost her husband twice. Shut up, Ricky.
Yes, think of Centuria first.
I'm sorry, the death of 5 universes is on my mind right now. Poor Tracy. And internally he's just like, screw this master mage crap. Like, I don't want any part of this, and he's, thinking of like, is is it possible to cut myself off from the wellspring of velocity if that means not being any kind of master mage? Like, he just kind of reeling with the whole, the death of 5 universes full of people and Centuria's loss, and thinking about Tracy. Yes, Wiki, thinking about Tracy, and it's all just this great big mess, and he's just sort of uncharacteristically not moving very much at all.
Overdrive, you can certainly try to cut yourself off from the wellspring. Yeah, you can make the conscious decision to suppress that part of yourself. You're
Okay.
not sure what that would do to your powers.
Yeah, again, he's just sort of unable to make any kind of decision right now. Just sort of staring into the abyss. And having overheard the part you were talking to Resident, are we headed to Freedom Hall next, or are we?
We should check in and see what happens, I guess. I really don't know what we're gonna do next, but I think we need time. I think we need some downtime. We've been, pardon the pun, running nonstop for the past couple of months, and it's taken a toll on all of us. I think some more than others. So we should check in and see, make sure everything's okay. I don't think any of us are in the shape to help out with anything right now, though. Might have to get the Stormbreakers to make a stop by if there's a bunch of things that have gone wrong. Though then again, they could just exacerbate the problem.
I mean, they had their own problems to deal with last I heard.
I know. I'm kind of hoping they dealt with those, but lest we need to go face a giant vampire. Was that what they were dealing with?
That's what I overheard. I think we can leave that one for them. We'll reach out if they're in the clear, but yeah, we should check in with the League at least. If there is something that needs to be done, I could use the distraction at least.
Okay.
Alex, I want to take a quiet step off into the shadows and slip to the crossroads.
Mortis disappears.
I'm going down to see Hades.
Interesting.
Come on, you knew this was coming.
All right, you go down to Goblin Town and find yourself within the underworld. Cerberus is very happy to see you as you make your way through the gates. He kind of nuzzles all three of his heads your direction, looking for pats.
Give him scratches.
And you make your way past Cerberus and up into Hades' palace, where he is currently sitting at the dinner table with himself and Persephone.
I politely knock on the door.
Hades, we appear to have company. Are you expecting anyone? I live in the underworld. Do you think I'm ever expecting anyone? And he'll come and open the door. What do you want?
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to give you an update. Boone has been dealt with.
Has she now?
At a cost, but yes.
What cost?
The Centuria of Earth Prime and an Overdrive counterpart were both lost in the battle. As a direct result of the magic used to finalize Una.
that is a tragedy.
One I would like to change, if possible.
You come in here to make a deal.
There are certain things that I'm not allowed to bargain with. It's not my call. I did not make those pacts. But you know I can't lift the embargo on you going back to the lands of the mortals.
You could try.
I could speak to the Masterminds, but again, there are certain rules that I can't bend because I didn't make them. You know how that goes.
Well, you are a master mage from Earth. I think there's probably something you and your friends could do to make it so one divine being has the ability to ignore the pact. I don't care if my brothers or sisters or cousins from other pantheons can go to Earth. I only care if I can. And in exchange, I would be willing to return both of the displaced heroes you ask for. If you can make it so. You're asking me to break up a match set now that I have Centuria and Centurion.
Yes, and if I make this bargain, how fast will you be invading?
You have such a low opinion of me, Mortis. You know it takes time to get the logistics of an army together, and picking the right place to host my victory parade. Earth is only my brother's on a technicality. You could try to strike a similar bargain with another divine being, I suppose, but the amount of magic at play here is beyond most mortals.
I could always ask your brother.
He can't do it. He's a fool and a sycophant. And he has no interest in the dead. You could try to make a deal with another shady god of the underworld if you wanted to. But don't you prefer the enemy you know to a mystery? Think how much it would mean to your Kate. How much guilt would be off of her shoulders.
Is Persephone overhearing this?
Yes.
They risked everything to save the entire multiverse. It ripped her from her loved one and looked over Persephone on cue on that. Including saving this entire realm indirectly.
And Persephone sort of places her napkin on the kitchen table and looks over at Hades in the doorway, and he looks back. He's like, come on, man. You're gonna Orpheus me? Really? And she gives him this puppy dog look, and he's like, fine, okay? I'll give you one of them for free. I can give you Centuria, or I can give you the Overdrive.
This is stressing me out.
Stressing you out.
No, I'm not even.
Just had to go off on your own, didn't
Of
you?
course I did. Is anyone surprised I did this? No.
No.
Or, if those two aren't of interest to you, I could give you Adrian.
Fuck Adrian.
We don't want him.
You can do whatever you want with him.
I ain't come down to kick him anyway. I'll speak to Seven, who's the rightful master mage of Earth, about what can be done with the bargain. If you'd be willing to let David come home with me.
Deal. And he puts his hands together and he begins conjuring this magical energy. He says, since you wanted to Orpheus me, we do have to make an agreement. You can take Dave with you, but you can't turn around to check on him until you get back to the entrance to the underworld.
It's gonna be an action figure of him.
Oh man.
Sure.
Good shit. And he says, turn around and start walking that way. He'll be right behind you.
And I will walk out of his throne room, and walk through the city and down into the crossroads and
Back into the Nexus.
mhm.
All right. Everybody back in the Nexus, after a few moments, time is weird in the underworld, Mortis appears from the shadows again. And behind him is the body of Ray Gardner Jr.
That's cruel. Mortis? What is this?
And Dave will run over and give you a big hug, Centuria.
Ray?
He kind of looks back and looks at you with a perplexed look on his face. No, it's me.
It's Dave.
It's Dave.
Dave is. She'll look at Mortis.
The wrappings changed a little bit, but it's Dave.
Ray Gardner Jr. was a speedster before he was an energy being.
Is that Davy and Ray's body?
Yeah, I think that's what I am.
How are we supposed to bring him back to Freedom Hall and meet Thunderbolt?
Cause all sorts of problems.
This is Mortis. Where did you go?
Where do you think he went?
Yeah, dumb question. I suppose
pointed-
that's
I
also the
pointed
answer
out-
of who you met.
I pointed out to Hades the reason that the underworld still exists is because we just saved the entire fucking multiverse.
And he
Made our lives
gave
more-
gave you what you asked for, but not what you wanted.
What about the rest? Or Was it only the one?
I can possibly get Centuria back, but and I look over at Seven as I say this. He wants to renegotiate the bargain.
Seven snores very loudly from her pushchair.
Yeah,
Okay.
she apparently there's a spell for infinite alcohol in here.
What sweetening of the bargain does he think's gonna happen when he sent Dave back in Ray's body?
Oh, actually, didn't he just do us a favor? Because, hear me out. Didn't we have a body for Davy? And now we have Ray's body too?
Did we have
Wait.
a body for Davey?
Yeah,
Well,
the
you
one
took
that
the first
Fantasia made.
Yeah.
There's a clone body.
So, you want to, what, shuffle cup this? Put Davy in the empty body, put Ray in this body?
When you say it like that,
I can't deal with any more magic today. And
No.
Overdrive will zip off to Freedom Hall.
he never lets me finish. I wasn't going to say we do it today. I just thought, I don't know.
It can
I
be
thought
done.
maybe, yeah.
Thank you, Lance. I appreciate what you did. But you, and she looks at Ray, can't come to Freedom Hall with us until we figure this out. I'm ecstatic to see you, and I'm very happy to have you having a living body, but we can't let the real Ray see you.
He's like, that makes sense. I'd be upset if I saw my body running around with somebody else in it too.
Resident looks at him as he says that, and where Overdrive just ran out.
That overdrive size dust cloud.
Look, I haven't been happy about this arrangement this whole time.
I mean, you have more points of articulation now.
Opposable thumbs. Sorry, I think that's in bad taste.
Look, Wiki, Ogre and the dude
No, that was the
have it
funniest
covered. So why don't you take a break in the chat?
thing. That was so funny. Let's ask Tracy. Maybe that's the downside of your superpower.
Oh, good.
No.
Please help me. Help all y'all.
Yeah, Bowman's gonna say we can't make a decision on this until Serena wakes up anyway. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna head back out there and see what I can do.
Okay.
Sala, can you let us know when she's awake?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I'm gonna stay here too for a bit, I think. So if she wakes up while I'm still here, I'll let you know, Fletch.
Yeah. And Fletch is gonna figure out how to leave.
The door opens and deposits you outside.
Is anybody else going to Freedom Hall? I know Overdrive is heading that way.
I'll head over.
Oh yeah, I should have gone there.
You still can.
I guess I will head over, but I'll leave Ray here and have Brutus keep an eye on him.
He will start scratching Brutus and rubbing his belly.
Does Brutus seem like happy?
He seems
that-
very
okay.
excited to see
That's
Davey.
good.
Dave.
This is very weird.
Ravy.
Ravy.
Maybe.
Oh wow.
Oh boy.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, those of you who head over to Freedom Hall, you do find the hall itself has been knocked into a couple of pieces. There are a bunch of holes in the walls. You see there are Cynthias on the job of repairing it. Some of them wearing hard hats, some of them carrying tool belts. All of them sort of whistling a jaunty tune as they're working. You see in the lobby of Freedom Hall, Johnny Rocket has assembled Thunderbolt. Jason is there in his costume, standing next to Thunderbolt. Lady Liberty is there. Not Seven. Siren and Star Knight are sort of keeping an eye on things. Dr. Metropolis appears to be nearby, rebuilding destroyed buildings.
Star Knight came from all the way in space.
All the way in space.
Space.
And
So
they
as soon
turn
as
and
I
look
get-
at all of you.
Since I would have arrived first, I would have immediately asked about the lighthouse. Is it secure? How are
Yes,
the people?
it is secure.
All right. All right.
They were able to evacuate some civilians up there, and I understand you have somebody up there.
Yeah. So I will probably be already teleported up by the time the rest of them get there.
So everybody else who's there, they all turn to you when you come in and say, "It looks like the situation's under control." Status report.
She's dead.
Who's dead?
Una.
Johnny Rocket sort of gives a grim nod. Wish Daedalus was here to go over this. I don't know a whole lot about the situation, aside from what happened with Dave.
Dave?
Yeah, the speedster thing and the losing my powers thing, and
Oh,
my powers are back for some reason.
that's good.
Yeah, he I'll be able to help with cleanup at least.
Is everyone okay except for Daedalus? We just don't know where Daedalus is.
We haven't heard from Daedalus. We don't know where he is.
Where was Daedalus last?
He was on Starhaven, helping get things situated up there. But we don't know if Una's Elysium extended out that far. Star Knight wasn't taken into it.
Okay.
But Star Knight was a considerable distance out farther than Daedalus.
Is anyone hurt? Is everyone okay?
Thunderbolt will sort of clap Jason on the back and say, "This young man's a little beat up, but the rest of us are okay."
Is Bowman there?
I guess Bowman will arrive late because, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, if everyone said they're going to the hall, he should go to the hall. And Calvin forgot, but Bowman wouldn't because he lives in this fictional space. So I guess he'll be late because he went there on his bow cycle.
Okay, Centurion asked him if he's seen Bowman yet.
No, not yet.
He's gonna be so proud of you. You did a great job.
Thanks, Centuria. Thunderbolt said my name was
Overdrive-
okay.
Thunderbolt did?
Yeah, he
She'll
said,
sort of smile at Thunderbolt.
he said it was cool that I had his old name, even though I didn't
That's
ask
great.
for permission before. I'm talking too much.
Maybe you should have tried whispering into a light socket. I heard that's a good way to communicate with him.
Thunderbolt looks at you with a deadpan look on his face.
How? He doesn't have a face.
Doesn't he always though?
Well, yeah. His body language says, "How do you know about that?" And he looks at Bolt. Where do you think I got the idea from?
And did Overdrive come through here?
Yeah, he went up to the lighthouse to check on Tracy.
Okay. Cool. I guess I'll hang out and wait for everyone else to get here. You guys don't care.
No, of course. We're just divvying up parts of the city to begin rebuilding and doing
Yeah,
search and rescue.
Give me an assignment.
And they will assign you to go and make sure nobody broke out of the prison on the raft.
She gets out to the raft. Sandstorm starts walking out, sees Centuria,
Walks
turns around and goes,
Rude.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You know what?
I don't want these problems.
Bowman and Mortis, you show up pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, I'll just check in with everyone, give them the lowdown.
Do you tell anybody about the pact?
No. The only person I'd want to talk to about that would be Seven and Daedalus, and Daedalus isn't here, so.
He's off getting beat up in Guardians of Haven Season 1.
Eat up.
He ran afoul of a number of space pirates.
Lomas life.
Oh,
Bowman,
Not that one
Bolt
again.
does sort of perk up when you come in. He puffs his chest out a little bit.
Just walks in, honestly, like a smile and a look of pride on his face. I hear you kicked some ass out there.
I shot a demon in the face with a pain arrow.
Did that work?
For a second.
What, do I hear that?
Yeah.
I give him double horns when he says that.
Yes.
But, boss, there was something Thunderbolt and I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, what's up?
Thunderbolt sort of looks at you, and with his staticky voice, he says, well, your sidekick really proved himself out there. We wanted to offer him a membership.
To the Freedom League?
To the Freedom League Junior.
Now, Ray, didn't they used to just call that Next Gen?
Yeah, but now we're the current gen, so we're trying to come up with a new name for it.
Well, I mean,
I want Jason to lead the group. And I want to enroll him at Claremont.
name the dog, Indiana.
I think you and I had the same kind of idea. But that's going. I was honestly going to ask Jason the same thing. That's really going to have to be his choice. Is that
I'm so glad you
something
said
you're-
that. He comes up and gives you a big hug around the waist.
Oh, okay. Well,
Freedom League small.
I still want to patrol with you, but I think this would be a really good opportunity to make a difference.
I mean, I thought I was going to have to sell you on this, but okay.
No, I mean, I need to go back to school. I've been living in a warehouse for weeks.
Well, it's not a warehouse. It's actually a printing press. So it's a warehouse with big printers.
Hot pockets.
It's still a warehouse.
Sorry, a paper
yeah.
storage facility.
Yeah, Jason, I think this is a great idea.
Good. He says, I have a lot of plans and ideas.
Oh, absolutely. You are going to rule that school when you get there.
We can talk on it on the way back to the quiver.
Yeah.
Come on, I've got the
And-
Bowmobile out back.
Oh, yeah. You didn't tell anyone I let you drive that, right?
Yeah. But he kind of looks over his shoulder at Thunderbolt.
All right. We should probably go then. And after all this is cleaned up, I'm going to get you started working on some actual arrows. So we'll take the training wheels off.
He says, I'm so excited. Okay, let's do it. And you guys will go off and do that.
Yeah.
Overdrive up on the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do find the situation is very safe up here. No demons came up to the lighthouse. there are a number of Cynthias who are all gathering in the teleportation bay to begin making their way to the surface to assist with the efforts down here. There's a couple that are still up here maintaining the satellite. And you see Tracy is sort of looking out into space at one of the windows.
So, approach her at normal speed. I know, no one expects that. And sweep her up in a big hug that lasts for 5 minutes. Or just say anything, just holding her. And then sort of pulling back. Saying, I think the world's been saved enough for a little while. Why don't we get out of town?
She sort of looks kind of perplexedly at you and says, "What do you mean? You just want to?"
New Horizon Media's got places all over the country. You don't have to stay here where all this craziness is going on all the time.
This is who you are.
I'm not too sure about that anymore.
And she gives you a very serious look, and she says, "Well, if you're sure, I mean, if you want to go and figure out who you are, I'm happy to go on that journey with you."
Just sort of sweep her up in another hug, and then we don't. It's not sight to sight with the teleporters, is it? Like we don't have to.
No, you don't have to go back down to Freedom Hall.
Okay. So we will then beam back down to the apartment from here.
Yeah, she'll start packing bags. Where are we going first?
I guess put a call into the boss and see if there's any, if I can arrange a transfer to a job at a different city with New Horizon Media.
You want to get out of Freedom City?
Yeah. A little too much news here for my taste, if you know what I mean.
What part of the world are you trying to go to?
What have you got?
Well, I have a...
Surprise me.
He will not tell you where he's going right now because I'm not 100% sure where you're going to go.
Yes, that's as Mortis put in the chat, see Overdrive #1 for what's next.
Yes. But you and Tracy will pack up your bags and begin to transfer out into the world.
Yes. My final panel in the book will be zipping into Freedom Hall and leaving my communicator at the reception desk and then zipping back out.
Excellent. Resonant.
Yep.
Is everyone's comic getting renumbered after this? Resonant as you're waiting for Seven to get better and start feeling better. What are you doing?
Just kind of walking around the Nexus, checking in on Sam and the kids.
Sam will text you back and say, "You'll never believe it. We got rescued by Resonant."
Really?
Yeah, and she fucking left Karen.
So am I gonna find a mess in the office when I get in?
I hope so.
It's gonna be one hell of a cleaning bill.
You know, I bet you insurance is going to pay for the whole building because demons knocked down a lot of it.
I guess we gotta rebuild then.
Yeah, but Dr. Metropolis is on the job, right?
Maybe I can get him to add a second massage room for you.
Really? She says?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've earned it. I think I do have to test you, obviously, but I think you're ready for that.
Yeah, no doubt. And she kind of nods. No, she's texting you. She's not nodding.
Yeah. Nodding emoji.
Yes. She says, "Well, I'll see you. When do you think you can get down here?"
Shouldn't be too long.
All right, we'll get the store up and running again, and we'll have better clients this time, I hope.
I mean, we had pretty good clients.
We had a couple of good clients. Hopefully, we'll get some new ones now that our bookshop's going to be a historic site, probably.
You know the paperwork I have to file to get that declared?
You like doing paperwork.
I really don't.
And yeah, if there's anything else you want to cover, you cover it in the conversation.
Yeah. When she finishes with that, she's just gonna go back in and sit in a chair across from Sala.
And Sala's just sort of looking sadly at a display case in this room that has a couple of different photos of him and Adrian and some of their mementos from their adventures.
You really think something happened to Adrian in the dungeon dimension? Something he didn't predict when he put himself there?
Either that or I didn't know who my partner was.
I think you're a better judge of character than that, Sala.
Thanks, Gemma. And a tear sort of streaks down from the inside of his eye and down over his nose. I'm sure we'll find out. We have to find him. And in
I
the
told him
process, we have to save those dimensions he targeted.
I really do want to talk to Glimpse about that. It was just it was 5 different dimensional versions of us, save the one for both, well, our Centuria and the overdrive of Centuria's dimension. Which means 3 dimensions really need help. One minus myself, 1 minus Bowman, and 1 minus Mortis.
As you say that, Resonant, you hear the sparkling crackle of magical energy in the room.
And she'll get up out of the chair and turn towards it.
As you do, a golden ankh appears in the center of the room. And 4 figures step out of this glowing golden ankh portal. I'm going to switch this over to the Roll20 overlay so the folks at home can see too.
Ooh.
And they're all Cody.
Oh no.
No!
Hey
Fear the
yo! The universe saved! We got this!
We're doing magic over here.
Figure 1.
It's like we're the Council of
really?
Cody.
Shit!
Is that Doctor Strange?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Figure 2.
Excuse me?
Well, the golden ankh was a dead giveaway for me.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
the second
There
one.
he is. There he
Yep.
is. Oh boy. This is bad.
Figure
Oh,
3.
wait, there's more.
Yeah, I know. That's like, wait, there's 2 more.
Ah.
Ooh.
Alright.
Yeah, we know that one.
We do?
Yes,
Yes.
well,
Some of us do.
some of us do.
And figure 4.
It's for Claire. Oh.
I
Oh,
literally only
Oh.
knew Doctor Strange.
okay.
Oops.
First you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
That's probably just Carmen Sandiego.
Wow.
Rude.
Where in the
So,
multiverse is
um,
Carmen?
apparently, Kat has not seen the Titan City show that her boyfriend was on.
Yeah,
We don't watch each other's shows. We're really bad about that.
Well, Well, this is
He has not seen
Minerva.
a single episode of NetherWar.
This is Minerva from The Lost and the Forgotten, Andy's player character. This is Isabella Thorne from my novel, also played by Sorcy Cat from ETU.
Oh wait, I do know her.
Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange. And Fate will speak with a deep, booming, resonant voice and say, "We have tracked the magical disturbance to this dimension, and we have brought this creature with us that we found from your realm. You have much explaining to do." And he throws Glimpse down on the ground in front of Resonant. And that's where we're going to end season 1 of NetherWar.
Wow.
That?
Don't you need to go
Ooh.
deal with Spider-Man? Like,
What about Nick?
who's Peter Park?
I don't even know who Peter Parker is. Why are you here?
Yeah, what about Nick?
I guess, we should probably.
What is Nick okay?
Nick's fine.
Uh,
Mortis would have gone home, kissed and hugged Nick, and that, yeah.
Nick is fine. I mean, I didn't do anything to Nick while everybody was gone. I'm not a
We don't
monster
trust you.
monster.
Unlike
First
last
time
time.
for everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Um, So yeah, thank you everybody who spent some time with us during the last year and weeks of NetherWar. I've had a ton of fun, and I'm very glad that this finale went the way that it did. So what's next for our heroes? Yeah, we'll find out I think the next show is just going to be called Freedom League Dark instead of NetherWar 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Then we can't use Electric Boogaloo. We have to use Electric Boogaloo.
But we're going to take some time. We have a couple of things planned that are going to be really excellent. Starting with Starhaven. So our next show, starting at the end of March 21st, we are going to have the beginning of Starhaven. On March 21st, we'll get together for an hour to talk a little bit more about that show, introduce everybody to the characters, and then March 28th, we are going to premiere properly with Starhaven. Starhaven will not be as long as NetherWar was. It'll still be a decent chunk of time.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I am responsible for writing all of Starhaven instead of just the in-between episodes of NetherWar. So who knows how long it'll be, but we'll see. In the more immediate future, next week we will be back here with the same cast for another War talkback. We'll be talking all about the season. This will be the first recap I'll be present for. And I will be answering all kinds of questions. Please bring all of your behind-the-scenes questions, or Alex, why did you do that questions? And we'll be doing all that fun stuff. Wiki, I feel attacked.
Oh, that's a real shame that Wiki attacked you. Oh, okay.
Ogruk is right. In Freedom League Dark, we are going to have a crossover with a couple of interesting folks. And I'll talk more about that when we get a little closer to it. But I have a couple of really interesting plans. I have some plans for some Titan City crossovers. I have some plans for some DC crossovers. There's a lot of fun stuff that we're going to be getting involved in.
We should do Sentinels crossovers. Who said that?
Sentinels? You mean the
Sentinels of the
Stormbreakers?
Multiverse. No,
Sentinels of the Multiverse. That's a good plan. Yeah, so we're going to be exploring the multiverse. Basically, we're going to be blowing open the multiverse in Freedom League Dark. I've been very hard trying not to tell everybody about Doctor Strange, Dr. Fate, and then the Titan City characters showing up at the end of this to say, hey, let's go save the multiverse from Adrian Eldritch. Whatever happened to him? Tomorrow night we have a recap for the Stormbreakers over at City of Destiny because Aaron will be enjoying his 19th wedding anniversary, so we'll be doing that.
Very nice.
Wednesday we have our Cthulhu Awakens live stream, the first of 2 parts that Jonesy will be GMing. It's going to be oodles of fun and in support of the Kickstarter that is still ongoing until the 23rd. Thursday, we'll have a new blog post up on the website. Friday, our new episodes from YouTube will be up on the website. And Monday, we'll be back here for the recap. Yeah. I appreciate all of you for going on this journey with me and trusting me to usher us through this Earth Prime and NetherWar experiment. My life's not going to be the same without this coming ahead in the weeks ahead. And
It's okay. You've got Starhaven to look forward to.
I do have Starhaven to look forward to.
Starhaving across the universe.
Oh, no.
You're welcome.
I do want to give everybody a chance
Thank
to say goodbye, plug anything they want to plug, say anything they want to get off their chest before we get out of here for NetherWar, starting with Kevin.
Sheesh, this Alex guy, I'll tell you what. Yeah, back when I first started doing these online broadcasts, it was just all fun and games and Spooky and Speedy playing around in Heroes Inc. a dog's age ago. But I feel like Untold Stories Project games have just been so much more emotionally involved. And of course, this one going the distance as it did really had a whole lot of punch. But wow. It's been a great ride. I'm glad you were here for it, and hope to see you for the next time around. This crazy cast of cool cats. I stole Bowman's thing there. I'm sorry. I'll pass it over to Jonesy.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, joining us on this crazy journey. A couple things. Yes, I will be GMing a 2-part Cthulhu Awakens game, which I'm not nervous about it at all. No, so it should be lots of fun. Other than that, I did want to point out that there on Itchy, there's a bundle right now for trans rights. That's a really great deal. If you want to help out the family with trans members in Texas, by all means, go check out the bundle. I dropped a link in chat. It's great for a good cause. So other than that, thanks, and we'll talk to you next week for the chat back. So with that, over to Kat.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would have asked me a year ago when Alex sent me a chat 2 hours before the stream if I wanted to guest star on NetherWar, if I was still going to be playing in that game a year later, I would have laughed. I'd have been, I'm going to be too stressed for that, but here I am. But it has been an amazing ride. I can't believe it's the last episode of season 1. Lots of emotions, lots of high emotions. Can't believe Centuria is still alive, but I'm glad because I can't wait to play her again. So thank you guys for following us on this journey. And you may or may not see me next week. It depends on how much I want to put studying off. So with that, I'll pass it to Andy.
Thanks everyone. This has been one heck of a ride, and I'm very, very happy that you took time out of your lives to spend time with us on Monday nights for the past year and several weeks. It means a lot to all of us here at Untold Stories Project that we have people that are interested in the stuff that we do. So thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. Please, we've got more stuff coming. Come on back. This shit's not going anywhere. I echo a lot of what our other castmates have said to this point. So just thank you. Thank you all. We'll pass it over to Calvin.
Right. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that I want to say about this whole game. That I was gonna just save for next week since we're gonna be talking about everything all at once. But it's been just really fun, just sort of like being in this group and with this community and everything. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm glad I get to keep doing it when you meet our new characters. So until that moment in time, I've been Bowman, the awesome archer with his awesome sidekick now. We'll see how that goes. But again, you can find me here continuing on Mondays and over on the Women with Dice channel. We've got weekly gaming streams, which have been going pretty well, and weekly podcasts where we're talking to a bunch of people from Lancer. This week is going to be very exciting because we're talking to the author behind Grim and Sons about her new thing. And if you're into Lancer third-party stuff, then you immediately know who that is. If you're not, then I get it. But if you are, then you've already heard of it. So it was a very interesting discussion. I was very scatterbrained through the whole thing, but hopefully it's fun to listen to. And that's all I have to say right now. I'll save my emotional stuff for next week. Gonna pass it back to Alex.
Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else. Unless you are interested in hanging out with me on Saturday for the Patreon actual play. Forgot to mention that. I will be murdering a couple extra player characters. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. It's gonna be
He's the Gary Gygax of Mutants and Masterminds. It's terrible.
He's working on it.
You know, I got a bloodstained reputation I got to put up, I guess.
Don't have to.
Surprise us.
Wow, everybody had a great time. Nobody died. It was beautiful.
They all died.
Well, you know. Yeah, but thank you, everybody. We'll be here next week for the talk back, but other than that, make good choices. And we will see. We'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, heroes.
Bye, heroes.
Stay-
Just